Charles Oliveira's career isn't just a series of fights. It's the best redemption story Hollywood never wrote. The truth is, most MMA fans watch a fight, but they never see the story behind it. They see the punches, but they miss the narrative of the fighter who is there to entertain them. Today, we're going to change that. We'll show you how the man the MMA community nicknamed the Quitter used that very pain to become one of the most dominant champions in history. Most analysts will show you the stats. We'll show you the turning points in his life script that changed everything. In the next few minutes, you won't see a fight analysis, you'll see the analysis of a warrior, and you'll learn to identify the 3 acts of a true champion's journey so you'll never watch a fight the same way again.
But to understand how the hero reached the top, we must first revisit his lowest point, the phase of his career that nearly destroyed him and defined the first part of his story, his ordinary world.
Why for almost a decade was Charles Oliveira just another name on the UFC roster? Why was such an obvious talent so incredibly inconsistent? The answer isn't in his technique, but in his story. He was a hero who didn't yet know he was on a journey, stuck in a cycle of impressive wins and demoralizing losses.
The pattern was painfully clear. The loss to Max Holloway from a freak injury. The submission suffered against Anthony Pettis. But the climax of his inconsistency, the moment that cemented his reputation as a quitter, was the loss to Paul Felder. He had control, he was in a dominant position, and then suddenly the fight was over. He wasn't knocked out, he was broken. This wasn't just a bad moment, it was the foundation of his character. Each of these losses was a narrative setup, building an obstacle that seemed insurmountable. The audience, the commentators, and perhaps even he himself believed they had read the end of this script, a talented fighter, but without the heart of a champion. They were all wrong. And this is exactly where most analysts get it wrong. They focus on the failure, but a good storyteller knows that failure is just the catalyst. It's when everyone counts him out that the hero's script truly begins. Because after the lowest point, there's only one way to go. And Charles's resurrection was one of the most spectacular in sports history.
What turns an ordinary man into a hero? It's the decision to face his greatest flaw. Charles's ordeal wasn't a single fight, but the long, arduous journey to destroy the belief, his own and the world's, that he was a quitter. The turning point began after the Felder loss. 8 straight wins, submissions, sheer dominance. But the moment that defined his transformation, the pivot point of our movie, was the fight against Kevin Lee. After winning, he took the microphone and didn't speak to the fans, he spoke directly to power. That wasn't a call-out, it was a script declaration. The hero, after years of inconsistency, had finally accepted the call to adventure. He stopped being a victim of his reputation and became the author of his own story. From that moment on, every fight became an inevitable step toward the climax. And what a climax it was. His title fight against Michael Chandler wasn't just a fight, it was the perfect third act, with a plot twist that not even the best Hollywood director could have predicted. What makes a championship moment truly legendary? It's when it mirrors the entire journey that led to it. And Charles's title fight was a microcosm of his whole career, condensed into less than 6 minutes. In the first round, disaster. Chandler, with his explosive power, nearly knocks him out. Charles is hurt, stumbling. For a moment, the old ghost of the quitter reappeared. The crowd held its breath. Would this be the tragic end to his incredible redemption story? But the hero survived the first act. And then, the second round began. With a precise left hook, the same weapon that had brought him down so many times in the past, Charles drops Chandler. And this time he doesn't hesitate. He doesn't back down. He gets the finish. In that moment, Charles didn't just beat Michael Chandler. He beat his former self. He overcame his greatest trial on the biggest stage of all. He didn't just become the champion, he completed his hero's journey. The script was finished.
Charles's story is the perfect hero's script,
But every great story needs a worthy antagonist. The rise of Islam Makhachev follows a completely different script, that of the inevitable villain, the heir destined for the throne, built to be the perfect anti-hero for Charles's story. In the next video, we'll break down Makhachev's narrative and show you why the clash of these two movies was one of the best written events in UFC history. Thanks for watching.